Aqui no Epoch Times, além de oferecer notícias buscando imparcialidade, independência e jornalismo rigoroso, nós também acreditamos em honrar a herança, os valores, as tradições e a sabedoria que permitiram à humanidade prosperar. Hoje, compartilhamos uma reportagem especial entrevistando o pianista russo Vladimir Feltsman. Ele estreou com a Filarmônica de Moscou aos 11 anos de idade, louvado como um prodígio. Ele nos contou sobre a sua jornada para fora da União Soviética em busca de liberdade artística, sobre música tradicional e a influência do valor cristão de compaixão na tradição e apresentação musical russa. Você verá alguns destaques, enquanto a entrevista completa está em nossa plataforma para assinantes, a Epoch TV Brasil, epochtv.com.br. Link na descrição e nos comentários. Vamos conferir.
You went to music school and conservatory.
Special music school, yes.
What is exactly the traditional Russian school of performing?
You know, roots of Russian musical traditions are not only Russians, of course, like in German musical tradition, French, it's deeper and wider. It always happens like that. But if we're talking about Russian performing tradition, which is a bit closer to our topic, that the difference to me is the same as the difference between Western culture, Western European culture and Russian culture, not only music. So to me, Russian culture is profoundly Christian culture. So it's rooted in a very basic Christian values. And the most important of them is compassion. Compassion and mercy from God. Why is that? Russian music, such composers as Tchaikovsky, Rachmaninoff, Mussorgsky, they have tremendous emotional impact on listeners. It goes straight to your heart, to your guts, like above your head. It somehow touches you on a very profound level. And when it happens, certain changes within you happen, which are very, very positive. So its accent, its emphasis on emotions, on feeling, on compassion, on sufferings. You have to know your craft. Yes, you have to understand what music is, but it has to be fulfilled with your emotions, with your passion.
Sound volume, the quality of the sound depends only on one thing. It's velocity, not how hard you hit the key. You can put your hand up to the sky and hit it and it will be terrible. It's velocity. It's not this, but this. But not, it's totally different. It's totally different. So it's from you take the sound from the piano, which already has it. Piano has all sounds to begin with. Whatever you want, it's already there. You just have to get it there.
Teaching is one of the big aspects of your life.
It certainly is.
And what other challenges have you encountered teaching these young generations?
Two things which are kind of not really connected. One is lack of training, of proper training. If you haven't get something from age 6 to 8 to 9 basic skills how to play any instruments, piano or anything else, very hard to get it back. Yes. Same motion. Second has to do with general culture, general education. That sonata of Beethoven, which they know how to play it, but what the whole of Beethoven music is, who Beethoven was as a composer, his other works, quartet, symphonies, so on and so forth, they have no clue, most of them. They don't read enough. They don't understand the context of the culture.
Do you think it comes from the schools in general or from the family?
It comes from everywhere, but I think that to educate yourself is the responsibility of each and every one of us.
I agree completely.
I wouldn't blame on family. Yes, it's more cultural family. If parents read books, then maybe kids will follow. But you educate yourself. If you do not understand the context of culture, what Baroque means, what classical means, what romantic, if you don't know German poetry or you didn't read whatever, there are very important books and ideas which are available to anybody, and if you don't try to connect and comprehend that, very hard to find your place in that culture, which didn't came out of nowhere. It's all connected.
You came to United States some years ago from Moscow, Soviet Union.
Yeah.
How different was your life as an artist back in Soviet Union and here?
Back in Soviet Union, 8 years before I finally got out of there, I didn't have any job or concerts because after I applied for exit visa at 1979, I ceased to exist. But it's not a unique story. Many of my friends and colleagues lost everything when they made public their intention to leave their motherland, which at that time was conceived by Soviets as you betray your motherland. So I wanted to betray my motherland, and it took me 8 years to do just that. So finally, when they let me out in 1987, I came here, and it was a lot of politics involved because it was the end of the Cold War. And it was a lot of fanfare, Good Morning America, 60 Minutes show, concert in White House, debut at Carnegie Hall. You cannot go any higher. And if you start on that level, because where else can you go?
You can climb?
You can play on the moon, maybe. The difference is that in Soviet Union, everything, every aspect of life, cultural life, political life, like even your personal life, was very well structured and controlled. In the United States, it's decentralized. Every concert hall, every orchestra, every subscribers, every concert series has its own thing, its own politics, always. But there is no like one Uncle Joe who said, okay, we want this guy and not that guy, and he or she will not have a career in the United States. It's not possible.
What do you think the roles of classical music in our modern times?
Not large enough. Not large enough. It's a very big question, and you know, arts, being it music, literature, poetry, visual arts, architecture, whatever, it's part of the culture. And our culture at the moment, the trend which I see and doesn't make me very happy, it's a trend to the mass culture, mass consumption, basically pop culture.
Even when we're talking about the classical music?
Absolutely, absolutely. In classical music, it's very, very obvious the trend towards show business being very glitzy, brilliant visually and audibly.
Wasn't it going on for some time already?
Absolutely, absolutely. I would say last 15, 20 years, the young musicians, my students and everybody, looking at the most successful artists at the day, and they try to kind of copy what they do and to follow their steps.
And losing their own individuality.
They're losing everything because you cannot copy anybody. You know, with all internet, with YouTube, what is the real criteria for the quality of the art? It doesn't mean if you have 10 million hits that you playing good and you are a real musician. So it's just a bit misleading, and it's kind of chaos because of this internet. Very hard to say what is real, what is fake, and what has value, what doesn't have value.
Your student, Timur Mustakimov, won the Gold Award at NTD TV International Piano Competition in 2016.
One of the good ones, yeah. If I can give that advice or information to younger people who want to do music, if there is any other choice that you have, but not being a musician, any other option, don't do music, do something else. If there is no option, if you think it's a calling, then accept it humbly, without any expectations. So if you get first prize somewhere, it's great, you have self-esteem. If you don't, you are down and you are depressed. This is not a good place to be in life, mentally. It has to be a little bit different system of values, internal values for everyone, where these ups and downs of our life does not really affect us too badly. There is one very simple thought which are dear to my heart. It sounds like that. All that is not given is lost. If you have something to give it all.
Muito obrigado por assistir. Você pode ver a entrevista completa e muito mais na Epoch TV. Acesse epochtv.com.br. Link na descrição e nos comentários. Nós, do Epoch Times Brasil, desejamos a todos boas festas e um excelente Ano Novo.